Welcome, everybody, to All Hang Up and Listen, brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room. 8 different Western New York locations with over 300 beers to choose from. Open 11:30 a.m. till 10:30 p.m. and later. 7 days a week with live music, entertainment, and trivia at all 8 locations every week. And one of Western New York's only kid and dog-friendly bars. And Buffalo Go Apparel, one of the very best places to get all of your Buffalo sports apparel needs, from your shirts to your hats to your hoodies. Take a look at this beautiful, beautiful hat right here. Just picked this one up yesterday from Buffalo Go. The new goated Hashik snapback, along with the RJ one that we've been teasing on our handles this week. Make sure you check them out. They'll be dropping that next week. Absolutely beautiful. I honestly, just showing it on here doesn't do it justice. The embroidering and stitching is it is perfect. So
I'm gonna need one.
Definitely, yeah, 100%. The RJ one is just as impressive. Eric over at Buffalo Go told me that they hired the best to do these hats. So super excited for you guys to get your hands on those. But Sabres win, not just win, they slaughtered the Vegas Golden Knights with an onslaught of third period goals, 7-2, and a lot to unpack, Connor. I know Jack Eichel. I know that was kind of a storyline coming in tonight, but I really don't think Jack would have helped them much tonight, man.
No, maybe an emotional boost, but I would say through and through probably the best win of the season for the Sabres.
Without a doubt.
Without question, for a variety of different reasons. Even after they blew a 2-0 lead, and the game was tied at 2-2, I still felt pretty good about the way they were playing with the offensive. It was right after that second goal, actually, where I think they had 2 or 3 straight shifts where I tweeted from our account, that's the best I've seen them in the offensive zone this entire season. It looked like they had the offensive ability and the acumen that they had all of last season, which is what we wanted from this group all year. So it's an encouraging sign. Obviously, it's probably a little bit too late. It's too little too late. And we wish we had this a month or 2 ago. But at the same time, you're happy to see it now. Nobody wants this team to tank. Nobody wants this team to drop into the Final 5 to have a chance at Macklin Celebrini. We're all over that. And I think more than anything, even if they don't make the playoffs this year, I think everybody wants to see a little bit of the team that they saw at the end of last year that came within 1 point of the playoffs. And that's exactly the team they saw tonight.
Yeah, I would say that is the closest semblance of what we saw last year, right? I mean, you had that big 9-3 win against Columbus earlier, or 9-3 or 9-4. You had that big one follow-up against Toronto where they slaughtered them. But in terms of, like, team win. I mean, they didn't give up a ton of. I mean, UPL had some outstanding saves tonight, but let's be real. Like defensively,
The backdoor 2-on-1 blocker.
Mario, yeah, that was fantastic. And he read that perfectly. He read that perfectly. I saw him stretching that out as they were breaking on the 2-on-1, and I'm like, oh, UPL's got this. UPL, because you could tell he kind of looked over. He knew where the pass was coming. He read that perfectly, and he almost made it look routine.
It's a good feeling as a goalie when you know what's coming, and you can load up on that left leg and get over. And the great thing about him is he's so big that he doesn't have to challenge as much.
Not a ton of movement for him
as the smaller goalie needs to. He can, in a Henrik Lundqvist style almost, he can stay back in his net, and there's less ground to cover getting from post to post. So you saw that on that save, and you've seen it a lot with him. My favorite, I think you tweeted out the video tonight and kind of criticizing the player in terms of what he did with the shot opportunity. But when they had the behind the net angle of UPL in the defensive zone, when Vegas had control and he was just tracking the puck, and at no point, and I've seen that angle before, and I've always felt like a little bit insecure being a goalie and also being a goalie knowing what the Sabres' usual defensive coverage is. He never felt out of sorts. He felt completely in control of where he was in his crease and how he was tracking the puck, and he was able to get over to his post, do the reverse VH, and lock down the rebound as well. So this is more of a testament to the work that he's done as a goalie, because I think a lot of the time with him in the past, it's been his consistency in giving up weak goals and not making the saves that he should make. Not only is he making the saves he should make now because he's in really good position, but he's also making the saves on high danger chances, as we just talked about on that 201. So he currently is what everybody thought he was going to be when we watched him win the World Junior Championship in 2018. He is what everybody thought Devin Levi would be this season. He is the best goalie in the league over the course of 2 months, which everybody says, oh, that's not long. He's been playing every night. And he's been basically doing this aside from the Anaheim Ducks game, which was really bad, but for not just him, I would say the team as a whole played very badly that morning on President's Day. He's been largely the best goalie in the league for the past 2 months, which is nothing to sneeze at.
No. I would say that we always do, and on this show too, even when he struggled, we always had his back. You know what I mean? Like, people wanted him waivers, people wanted him traded. Like, the athleticism was always there. The only thing that still worries about me, and going back to your point, is the fact that you are playing him every game.
I'd play him tomorrow.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but like, here's the thing. Like, for me, it's like goalies with bad hips normally don't have long careers. It's a fact. It's not like an opinion. It's a fact. He's already had double hip surgery. I just hate that we've put ourselves in this situation where you have to play him as often as you are. I love how great he's playing. He's deserving of all the accolades from everybody, especially the ones who didn't believe in him. But it just worries me that if this becomes a trend with him, that he's going to get hurt.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess you're opening yourself up to that situation tomorrow, but the doctors can look at him. They can see how he feels. I would say, like, he had 23 saves again tonight, and that's after only 23 saves against Tampa the other night. These aren't like 45 save nights. They're not incredibly like over the top, like workload games. Yeah. So I would argue that for the most part tonight, they protected him really well. And he only had to make a couple saves that were out of the ordinary, that were high danger chance type situations. Mm-hmm. And tomorrow it's a late game as well. It's another 4 p.m., 7 p.m. game for you guys at least. So I don't know. I don't think you can throw Eric Comrie in. I don't think you can do it. And what is
Comrie?
I think it would be Comrie, right? It's not going to be Tokarski.
I mean, would they bring up Devin Levi?
Well, this is what I'm wondering. I don't know where the Americans are. I don't know what their schedule
right now.
He played last night.
Yesterday?
He played last night, yeah.
I'll tell you right now where they're going to be.
Even so,
and he had an assist last night too.
Yeah, I saw that, and he had another amazing game. I just think that the role that he's on right now,
I don't think they play again. They might not play again until Friday. I think they're on a little break right now. I'm on Rochester's website right now.
We're doing a lot of speculation right now, but I think the Lightning just lost in a shootout.
Ooh.
Oh, never mind.
Did they?
I don't think so. I think Victor Hedman I'm getting real-time updates on the ESPN app.
Yeah, this is big.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Lightning just wanted a shootout.
Shoot.
Okay, that's fine though.
So yeah, they don't play again. Rochester doesn't play again until Friday, which is a crazy layoff.
Yeah. So if you were gonna bring Levi, and he's in they were in Rochester last night.
I believe so.
If you're gonna bring him for any situation, it would be tomorrow.
I agree. I mean, do they make that move? Make up, obviously you'd carry 3 goalies much like they are right now. They're still carrying Tokarski, aren't they?
I don't know if they sent him back or not.
I have no idea. There's maybe somebody in the chat. Maybe somebody in the chat can enlighten us.
I saw him in a Amherst tweet the other day. Let's see if Granato said anything about UPL playing tomorrow.
Yeah, because I mean, again,
he has not at the moment.
It's not like his workload was intense tonight, where he faced shots.
He's a 23-year-old kid. If he's healthy, he's healthy. Like, he obviously had double hip surgery, but that was years ago. So, I think you have to play him tomorrow. I really do. I like, unless Levi is ready. Obviously, he'll be willing and able, but I would rather.
We've seen Levi come into this exact situation.
Sure. But I think those are the only 2 options. You can't put Comrie in.
They have the Jets tomorrow, and then they get a little bit of a break until Wednesday, where they play the Leafs in Toronto.
Which is obviously a UPL game. It's just more so like he gets 3 days off after this. You got to play him tomorrow. I really do believe it.
I think they probably will.
Yeah.
If you're Eric Comrie and they bring up Levi to play over you in Winnipeg, how are you feeling?
Comrie's like such a good guy. I think he kind of knows his ceiling at this point. You got to think that, right?
We know he's capable. He is an NHL goaltender.
No, I think he can be. I just think that he's had a series of unfortunate events with this team specifically, which has made it worse than it is. I really do believe that. He's a good dude. I just don't trust him in a game against the Jets tomorrow.
Not with this long of a layoff in between starts. Definitely
exactly.
Not.
And Levi's been playing.
I would prefer them to bring up Levi for sure, because even before he was going back, I mean, he was playing well against good teams, and Winnipeg's a good team. Like, he has
he had a bad game here and there. So
yeah, you know what I mean? For a 21-year-old kid straight out of college. I mean,
I do think they're going to play UPL though, which is a crazy discussion, but it goes back to kind of how we viewed Levi at the end of last year. Remember, after the Rangers shootout, they played him back-to-back against the Devils the next night. It's you ride the hot hand, and UPL's looked as good as any goalie in the league. So I think you got to do it.
From our boy Mauricio, miracles happen. Imagine the concept of depth scoring from all 4 lines. Gergensen's Crab Robinson played well. Love the forecheck puck management, causing turnovers, chasing loose pucks, simple, direct. Big game from Dylan Cousins. Yes, 2 shorties tonight, and he was all over the ice.
Yeah, he in general has played much better in the past month after a pretty slow start to the year, which you got to think maybe there was some issue that he was dealing with that we didn't know about. But he looks way more like himself, especially on that first shorthanded goal, where I think we all have become accustomed to his speed and him. Like, even last year against the Islanders when he scored that on Ryan Miller night, or maybe it was even the season before. No, it was last year. Mm-hmm. Him on breakaways in the past, his speed was very apparent. You could see it on that first shorthanded goal tonight, the way he was able to break away in open ice and get down and also have the shot that we've become accustomed to as well. Yeah, he's been great. And I would say, to Mauricio's point, the puck pressure, The first goal is the best example of it.
They
Skinner and Middlestat really battled for a puck there, and obviously Skinner just threw it on net, and Thompson obviously should stop that. But the pressure that they put on the puck tonight was really apparent all night.
Mm-hmm. I would say the only 10 to 15 minute period where they were getting beat to pucks is probably when Vegas came back and tied it up at 2. But to your point, to start the show, that's probably the most impressive part of this game is you let a team like Vegas, a high scoring, even without Eichel, they're still one of the most talented offensive teams in the league. You let them come back, tie it at 2, and then you just put your foot on the gas and you don't look back. You know what I mean? Like
it was an amazing response to giving up a 2-goal lead, which for the most part you haven't seen all season long.
We got a request here from Mauricio. Twain, give me a classic Ric Flair and NWA double woo.
NCW.
NCW?
NCW was that's a wrestling thing, right?
And no, I think he means ECW or not ECW, but I think it was the NWA before WCW bought him.
Was Ric Flair in the NWA though?
Yes, he was. Shout out to a movie that me and my girlfriend
NWO.
Iron Claw. Go watch it. Iron Claw, even if you're not a wrestling fan. Fantastic movie with Zac Efron. A lot of history in that movie too. Ric Flair, NWA, double woo, Sabres attacking, pursuing, forechecking, backchecking, getting loose pucks, winning battles, defending, goaltending, clearing pucks, men front net. Woo! There you go, Mauricio. Yes.
Woo!
Well, you gotta.
Woo! Did not work.
You have a little. It's not coming in. Can you do it one more time?
Woo!
A hat trick of woos from the red bearded wonder in California, Connor Hurley, everybody. Yeah, dude, like the puck battles. I mean, again, they went down 2-0, a little of a hiccup in front of their own net. The second one I think was Jacob Bryson was like a little, or was it Owen Power? One of them was alone on an island on both.
Yeah, the second goal. I think Bryson was definitely one of them. I don't.
I think Bryson was the second one. Kind of got a little bit on an island by himself.
I mean, the first play was an unbelievable set power play from the Knights.
From Nick Roy, yeah.
Yeah, and
that was fantastic.
Brisson backdoor. I mean, that's a really, really good play.
Yeah.
And then
that's been worked on in practice.
And then William Karlsson just gets open backdoor and he fucking fires one home. Like of course you don't blame UPL for either one, but yeah.
No, not at all.
It's just those are good plays.
From Chavo, we had a ton of offensive zone possession. When it was 2-2, I thought we were going to give up the game with so many possessions ending in one too many passes. And Buffalo is guilty of that all season long. Instead of just being a shooter, shoot. And sometimes the overpassing has bit us in the ass. Not sometimes, a lot of the times has bit us in the ass this season. Not so much tonight. 7-2. I mean, Logan Thompson.
4 goals in the third, but I would say that for a lot of the night, they still had a lot of offensive zone time and they weren't able to cash in. And that was after that 2-2 stretch. I said that they've looked as good as they have in the offensive zone all season, and there were still no goals to show for it until they were able to get that third goal. I forget exactly who it was. It was Gergensons with a really nice play. I think he's putting on a show for the trade deadline. But same.
They both commented on it too. Conversations with Kevin Adams that they're both not too worried about what's to come at the trade deadline. So I'm not sure really what that means, but I gotta imagine one of the two of them is gone.
I just said after the game, I personally don't think you're going to get much back for either guy. And I know you may disagree on that.
I disagree full. I'm not saying you're going to get first round picks or anything like that, but
yeah.
You will
how about this? Even so, you get a third or a fourth round back for each guy. Do we really need a third and a fourth round pick where we are as an organization?
Please don't advocate for keeping them on the team.
But
please don't advocate. Right. Please don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, no, this is the discussion. Do you think are the playoffs completely out of the question?
Even if they aren't, if you can make your team better at the deadline.
But you're not making your team better right now if you get a fourth round pack for.
Well, so if you make a move for a Greenway type of player, because Greenway wasn't playing well. Greenway was not playing well in Minnesota when we acquired him.
No. I'm talking like for Girgensons and Okposo specifically.
I just.
Do you think you're getting NHL talent back for those guys?
Why wouldn't you?
I don't think you are. I don't think.
I think you do.
I don't think.
I think you do it in the right package deal. Yes, you do.
Well, yeah, if you put prospects with it, but like I don't think if you're trading those guys as they are, you're getting anything more than draft picks. Because the team
by themselves, yeah, you're probably getting mid-round.
That's what I'm saying now. Because so if you're going to make your team better right now, you're doing Girgensons and Savoy for someone else. But I don't think Kevin Adams is willing to do that.
I don't know, man. We'll see. I don't even think Savoy's on the table right now with how well he's playing.
And if he's not,
guys like Rosen, yes, on the table.
Okay.
Ostlund, yes, on the table.
Ostlund shouldn't be, but
I think he is though.
He shouldn't be. I would say of those three, of Savoy, Ostlund, and Rosen, Ostlund should be off limits.
I think Rosen is definitely on the table though.
Yeah, and maybe as he should be.
There's just not space for all of them.
No, I completely agree. It's just more so that if you're getting rid of your longest two tenured players right now, that means that you're mailing it in for the year, right? They might not be like they're on your fourth line, or Okposo might not be at this point, but I don't think you're making that trade to make your team better, especially when he's your captain, and also when Girgensons is your assistant captain. If you're trading those players, you're mailing it in on the season.
Potentially. I don't think you're absolutely mailing it in because they're both fourth line players. I don't know how you're mailing the season in.
No, but
they're fourth line guys. They're fourth line guys.
From a philosophical perspective, right? Like
I think these players are all professional enough at this point in their career to realize this is a business, and I don't. And if trading Kyle Okposo and Zemgus Girgensons is going to break your locker room, then they are soft.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that, but at the same time, the message that it would send would be
the message it sends is this is a business.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but I think that it would send a shockwave through the locker room. I really do.
It isn't a bad thing, man. Like we've been talking about how many times this year that this team need a shockwave.
For sure, and I kind of hope that he does it. I'm just telling you that unless there's a package involved with picks and prospects, we're not getting anything more than picks back for Okposo or Girgensons.
I don't know. We'll see. I think in terms of return, it would have to be a package deal, not together. Because I don't mean unless it's like a team like Boston, I could see a team like Boston.
I don't think both of them are going together.
No. But either or, like I definitely see. There's been talks about them being interested in both of those guys. Girgensons plays a very Boston style game, hard forecheck, quick to pucks. You know, he does bang along the boards. I could definitely see him in a Bruins uniform. And you know what? I would root for Boston if he did go there. I really would, just because I think Z deserves it.
It'd be tough to. I would root for him, not for Boston.
No, but one goes with the other.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, dude, I'm especially after. I would say that tomorrow is a big game. If they come out tomorrow and they have a similar performance as they did tonight, they blow the doors off the Jets, or even if they just get a win in no matter fashion, because obviously it wouldn't matter from a points perspective if they won in an overtime or a shootout. And I think Hellebuck played against the Hurricanes tonight, so we're probably going to get their backup tomorrow. Even so, if they beat the Jets tomorrow, and let's say the Lightning lose, the Lightning probably don't play tomorrow, you're 8 points out. You've got a month and a half left. Jack Quinn is back in a couple weeks. Theoretically, if you have a good March, it could happen. I think that really, really changes what Kevin Adams does at the deadline. I really do.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We started the show off. You even said, is it too far out of reach? I don't know. I personally think that you shouldn't treat this deadline any differently than if you were in the hunt, because you should be trying to add rostered players to this team, regardless of the situation you're in. You have enough guys that aren't going to be on this team next year where you were probably unloading them anyway. You know what I mean? Like, unless Buffalo was comfortably in a playoff spot right now with Okposo and Gergensons, then they were probably just trading prospects or picks to add. But if we were in this situation on the outside looking in, but more closer to that wild card spot, I think you just treat it the same way no matter what. I think you try and get rostered help right now. You're trading the same prospects. You're trading the same picks. You're probably trading Okposo and Gergensons. But I do want to bring up this right here from Hudson. Casey Middlestad. It was brought up on the broadcast when they were speaking after Middlestad's goal that he is probably getting traded. I think they said something along the lines of that.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Agreed.
Ryan Callahan largely does not know what he's talking about.
And these guys are on a national broadcast for ESPN.
No, I know, but I would say Ryan Callahan specifically is really bad at his job. But I think everybody who's saying like, oh, you either need to trade Middlestad or he's gone is completely out of the loop because they don't understand the idea of, number one, he's a restricted free agent. So they have 1, if not 2 more years of roster control. They potentially have arbitration. They have a restricted free agent situation, obviously, and they can also sign him to another year. So they don't need to do anything right now. That is the big overarching idea through this entire situation. They do not need to trade Casey Middlestad. They don't need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody who says differently just doesn't understand the concept of restricted free agency.
Yeah, but that's the thing too, is I want them to sign Casey, but that RFA situation probably ups his value a lot. So if a team does come knocking with the right offer and it makes your team better, I mean, is it harder to say no if you're Kevin Adams?
Like I said, it would have to be a perfect offer. It would have to be an offer that once that deal hits Twitter, all Sabres fans would be like, hard to turn that.
What if Calgary called and offered Rasmus Andersson and Blake Coleman?
And nothing else?
Those are 2 very good players.
I know, but they're also
2 very good players.
Yeah, I would say probably because you're getting
I think he's a right-handed defenseman too, correct?
I would say you're getting a guy.
You're getting a top 4 defenseman.
A lot of Sabres fans have really wanted for a long time in Anderson. And then Blake Coleman is the type of guy that this forward group needs. So you'd probably say yes.
Yeah.
But that's the thing though. That's 2 proven NHL players.
Well, that's the only way you trade Middlestad. It's not a 1-for-1 unless the guy you're getting back is like certified, puts you in playoffs next year type of player.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think that this is kind of like a strictly hypothetical situation that doesn't.
And that's the thing too. You got to remember, I know Kevin likes Casey, but like he's not his guy. He didn't draft him.
No, you know what I mean? Sure. But like he's also the top scorer on the team. So I just
not Dahlin is the top scorer on the team.
Now he is?
I think he still is.
Well, up until
he was before tonight.
Yeah.
I think Casey only had a point.
He scored the goal. I think he had the assist on Skinner's goal too.
Did he?
Yeah.
I tweeted that out earlier, so I should know.
It's
a lot of Hanifin rumors floating around too. A lot of rumors.
It was 46 and 45 before tonight, and then Casey had. What did Casey have? Casey had 2 points tonight, and Dahlin had 1. So
they're tied.
They're tied again. Yeah.
Okay. But regardless, that's kind of depressing too. That's the point lead at this point in the season.
Well, it's representative of the inefficiency of the offense.
Yeah.
So
Connor Red Rocket, our savior, Mike Ellis's replacement. You're the Red Rocket.
I got to drop some 4-on-3 overtime power plays if I'm gonna do that. But yeah, man, I more than anything, this is
Tokarski really was sent back to the AHL.
Yeah, so really good night. Not going to matter unless you win tomorrow. I think you got to play UPL. You got to ride the wave, unless they call up Levi, which I don't think they're going to do. And you go from there. But Yeah, I think it would have been, it would have had a different feel to the night had Eichel played, especially given that it was his first time playing in a long time and also his first time back since he won a cup. I think the energy would have been a little bit different. And I think maybe it would have affected the team a little bit more too. Maybe they would have been gripping their sticks a little bit tighter and whatnot. But I'm happy it worked out the way that it did. That Skinner goal to begin the game, it's plagued this team the entire year going down early, especially in the first period. And the stat that I found incredible was that they're 10-0-1 when leading after the first period, but they've played 61 games. So they've only been leading after the first period 11 out of the 61 games. So that just gives you the best idea possible with how frustrating this has been from a fan and team perspective. And the power play was better tonight. They capitalized on their chances. Dylan Cousins was good. Tage was not what he was the other night, but that doesn't really matter when you get the win. So, yeah, I'm really encouraged, and we'll see what happens tomorrow.
So Mike Harrington tweeted out just a picture of the standings after tonight, and we're still 10 points out because Tampa did win tonight. Still have 2 games in hand on Tampa, but we have to pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams to get into that wild card spot. Pittsburgh has a couple games in hand on us. Washington has a couple games in hand on us. Yeah, man, it is going to be a really, really tough climb, but they have themselves.
You basically have to win every game.
Yeah, you can't lose more than 5 games down this stretch, and if you do, you're toast.
And you got to go on another. They've won 5 of 6. It's got to be 9. It's got to be 9 of 10, and it's got to be probably 12 of 14 to even have a conversation about the playoffs, which is what Mike told us when we had him on 2 weeks ago. They needed to win 10 in a row for it to be possible. So
I think they've lost 1 game since then, right?
And they've lost only 1. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
From Chris, great game for the boys tonight. Finally, some puck luck going our way. We've swept the defending Stanley Cup champions this year. UPL being a difference maker this season. Best game of the year for Cousins. And 2, I know we got a couple comments in here about like just, trade deadline, like right here. Gene, you're saying, trade stock up on closer. Give us your thoughts on some trade ideas in the chat too. Before we sign off here, because I'm definitely interested in hear what you guys all think. It's 6 days away. I plan on taking off that day. We're going to do our trade deadline show on here. I know Ryan Jury already agreed to come on with us for that particular day. I know we did a fantastic time with it last year. Connor, I'm not sure what you're doing that day, but obviously.
Is it Friday?
I can't remember. It's March
I think it's 8th. Friday the 9th.
No, that's the 8th. March 8th.
Friday the 8th, then. Yeah, I think it is Friday, though.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. Pulling up the calendar. It is on a Friday. Yes, March 8th at like a 4 p.m. deadline. So we'll be live here for a lot of that day to talk about the NHL trade deadline, to see what the Sabres do. Should be exciting.
Quick acknowledgement of the 2 guys who were traded from the Knights tonight. Alex Tuck had 7 shots on goal quietly, which is obviously really, really good. And Peyton Krebs, obviously in a 4th-line role, dropped the gloves. I forget with who.
He's a lunatic.
Oh, Barbashev. He dropped the gloves with Ivan Barbashev, who is like a truck. And then he pumps the crowd on the way out. I think that shows as much about Peyton Krebs as anything, that he was demoted to a 4th-line role again after playing so well in the past 5 or 6 games. And he still finds a way to make an impact on the game. And also, he was still great in the offensive zone tonight, still setting up his teammates. I think for both of those guys, another good game against their former team.
Yep. Boo-hoo, it's a business. Trust me, trading high post isn't going to hurt us.
It won't hurt us, but at the same time, like, I just, like, this room talks about all the time the chemistry. They talk about all the time the culture of this locker room. I think there's something to be said about that. I really do.
Connor Redburn, Baron Hurley, pay your dry cleaning bill, spiff up the business dress suits, your hired power play specialist. You don't need experience. Matt Ellis as non-nepotism favorite.
Well,
I think he's just
I've got no nepotism either, so I don't know I don't know how I'm getting there.
good comment here from Captain Ahab. Unless we think we can get better in-house, I do not. Changes need to be made. You cannot trade rowboats to get battleships. One of Adam's favorites has to be moved.
Yeah,
I like that thought. You have to.
No, it's a good point, and I think Adams is realist enough that if the right moves for both Okposo and Gergensons, and maybe even Middlestad or anyone else, are out there, that he's going to do what's best for the team. But if they win tomorrow, that changes the entire conversation.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. It just I tweeted it out last week as you watched what this team is going to do. They're going to go on an epic run here, and we're going to miss the playoffs by 2 points.
They're going to miss the playoffs by 3 points. Yeah.
And we're not going to make the deals we should have deadline because, we might scratch and claw our way in it. And then we're just going to leave opportunity on the table at the deadline, which I don't want to see.
No, me neither. And especially from a UFA perspective, you obviously want to get as much back as you possibly can rather than getting nothing. I'm just arguing that you're not going to get that much. And if you can make a push here in the final month, you should try to do that. So,
before we give our 3 stars here, did you catch that Matt Rempe fight?
I did. Ryan Reeves.
Yeah.
Not as good as I thought it was going to be. And
no. Well, Matt Rempe protected himself a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, and he's so big. I didn't realize how big he is. Is he 6'7"?
He's massive, dude.
He's so big.
He took a good run at Labushkin in the corner, and Labushkin felt it, man.
And I am surprised that Reeves did as well as he did, given that he's so much smaller than him.
Yeah, I think somebody took him aside and said, "Hey, like you can't fight this way, especially if you do take on a guy like Ryan Reeves." Because he's got a mouth on him. And
he clearly knows how to fight. Because the way that he protected himself tonight. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that it happened. Reeves was John Adam all game, and when you're in this position as he is right now, I think everybody knows that he's this up and coming enforcer. You gotta answer the bell, and I'm glad that he did. I'm not the biggest proponent of fighting. I don't think it should be gone from the game, but I also don't think it should happen every single game as it used to. I think there should be a hefty balance, and it shouldn't happen out of nowhere. It should happen after a unwarranted check. It should happen after a star player gets run by somebody on your team. It should be a game-by-game specific scenario. Guys shouldn't just be going out on the ice looking for somebody to fight. I think that pushes the game back 20 years. I really do. So if this guy is a good hockey player and he can add something to the team while also bringing back the culture that everybody loves about fighting and the reason why it's good for the game, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I know he's got a couple points in his first, 6 or 7 games.
As long as that's not the only thing he does, I'm all for it.
Yeah, agreed. I do felt like national media, even myself to a point, we're almost treating this like that fight, the final fight of the first Goon movie, like the anticipation for it. Like it was we waiting, nipping at the bit.
Like Ryan Reeves, that's all he does. So that's probably how he was treating it too. You saw him earlier in the game. He goes, "Oh, you want it? You want it?" And Rempe just went to the bench. He's like, "No, I don't want it right now. Maybe later in the game.
You wait for me
when it makes sense for my team."
Yeah.
So as long as it's within the rhythm of the game and makes sense from a logical perspective, I'm all for it.
Yep. From Corbin Snyder, we have a goalie, we have the skill, now we need force. Do we believe? I do believe in a lot of the players on this team. It just sucks that it came at this point of the season. The guys to sell aren't going to make or break on a match.
Yeah, it's a good point.
The guys to sell aren't going to make or break a run.
And that's Gergensons and Okposo, right? Let's say we sell them, and who do we replace them with? Lucas Rusak and Yuri Kulik?
I could definitely see it being I know Kulik.
It's probably going to be Tyson Jost.
I know Kulik cooled off after the World Juniors.
You got one last night.
Huh?
You got one last night.
Yeah. He's starting to heat back up a little bit, but I personally, I like what Novikov has done on their blue line. I liked his game this year. Is it Novikov?
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Oh yeah. Nikita Novikov. He's a big
Novikov, I
player.
liked his game a lot this year.
He's the Russian Samuelson. He's probably made of less of glass than Matthias Samuelson. So fucking bring him up.
Yeah.
But same time tomorrow, knuckleheads. I'll say this. It's a good point by my boy OC. If we do trade Okposo and Gergensons, yes, that's not going to make or break a run.
No.
And if you bring up Lucas Rusek, who's proven to be a pretty quality,
even Brett Murray,
fourth
line guy,
Murray, two-way player, you bring some more speed in, especially Okposo, and then maybe more goal scoring. Maybe this team can catch fire, and it could be in a similar way to the way they brought up Levi last year.
Agreed.
So I do not
3 stars.
Do not hit the concept. Yeah, let's do 3 stars. But I will say this: you're only getting draft picks if it's the guy.
So that's why I'm not in favor of trading them like by themselves. Like I think there's be players to be had at the deadline.
Yeah.
Especially got a team like Calgary who is clearly burning it down to the studs.
Well, you're not going to trade Okposo to Calgary.
No, but I'm just stating, like, not saying you're going to trade that guy to Calgary, but a team like them who is looking for prospects, looking for picks, looking to reload, that's where you should be looking. Guys like teams like them, like Anaheim, like Columbus, Yurchek, the defenseman that has been completely mishandled.
Kevin Adams should be calling every single team because he's one of the few teams in the league that has both the cap space and the pipeline to do it.
Correct.
3 stars. Third one for me, I'm going to go Owen Power. A goal and 2 assists tonight. And I do think since he's come back, he's been way better defensively than he was earlier in the year. And he's showing a little bit more of what we saw for most of last season. People get on him, obviously. I think he's not been as good as he should have been in his second season. But at the same time, he's 21 years old. Or maybe he's only even 20. So I don't know, man. Like I believe in Owen Power and especially his offensive upside. And I think you saw it on his goal and you saw it a little bit tonight. I'll go because we didn't last game. And like we said, we could throw him in every single game. I'm going to go UPL. And I would say the biggest reason was that 2-on-1 save when it was 2-2. That is a massive game-changing save. And it shows the progression that he's made as a goaltender. I would say in other seasons, he probably would have given up that goal. That was a Devin Levi-esque post-to-post, hit across, make a big blocker save. The lateral agility, the quickness that he showed on that save is unlike we've seen from him in his career. And just in general, he's making every other save that he needs to make, and he's not letting in easy goals. So UPL number 2, obviously superstar right now. And number 1, I'll go Cousins. I think this was a classic Dylan Cousins game that we've become accustomed to over the past 2 or 3 years. That shorthanded goal was what we expect from him, and he was just around the puck all night. So, and you could give it to 3 or 4 other guys as well, but those are my 3.
My 3rd star, I was really close to giving it to UPL. For same reasons with that save. I thought that was a really kind of a game-changing moment, because he came back moments later and scored to go ahead after it was 2-2 there. But I went with Eric Robinson as my 3rd star. I love what he adds to that 4th line. Speed, he gets on the boards, he uses his body, he gets to the net on that goal to Gergensons. That was all him. That was literally all him.
2 assists for E-Rob tonight, quietly.
Yeah, and I thought he had a very good game. 2 apples. He really adds something to that 4th line that I'm not going to say that Peyton Krebs didn't, but Peyton Krebs is obviously much better serviced. And he wasn't on the 4th line tonight, Krebs.
Well, he was with Robinson and Gergensons.
That drives me nuts.
But
regardless, so
as I said earlier, he was still creating chances for each guy. So
2 apples for Eric Robinson. I mean, actually, Peyton Krebs. Imagine if that's a guy that might be on his way out the door. You'll never know.
It better not be.
As my 3rd star. 2nd star, I'm going to go Owen Power. Loved everything about his game tonight. And lately, too, he's got 4 points in his last 4 games. Very, very good showing tonight from Owen Power. Getting to the net as a defenseman. I thought he played very well in his own zone. He's starting to get a little bit more physical, which I like. He's not like out there being Chris Prong or anything, but like he's starting to realize his size a little bit more, and he's using it. Liked his game a lot, and then same as you for first star, the workhorse from Whitehorse, Dylan Cousins. 2 shorties a night. He's really, really starting to find. Not here, he did find his stride, but again, he wins puck battles. He forces turnovers. He's starting to look like that more skilled version of Michael Pekka that we talk about. Like, I've liked everything about his game over the last month. I'm not sure, what it took to knock some sense into him. I don't know, maybe he finally, shook off the stars from that Hathaway fight, but definitely this is the Dylan Cousins we wish we had all season.
For sure. And I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about Tage, especially given the injuries Tage has had.
Yeah.
And
he's been injured like 3 times this season.
Yeah. So as doom and gloom as this season has been, this past month, I would say closer to a few weeks, has been really encouraging. You come back right tomorrow, huge game against a really good team, coming off a really, really big win against the Hurricanes tonight, or earlier today, 5-3 in Carolina. That's a tough win, and they're going to be a little bit tired. Obviously, a little bit later game tomorrow, but it's a really, really good team. You're probably going to be facing their backup goalie because they don't necessarily need to play Hellebuck tomorrow. But they've struggled with this team in the past, and you gotta show the same level of grit and performance that you did tonight.
Agreed. Everybody, remember this is brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room. Over 300 beers to choose from. Open 7 days a week from 11:30 a.m. till 10:30 p.m. and later. Live music, entertainment, and trivia at all 8 locations, 7 nights a week. And of course, they are both kid and dog friendly. And Buffalo Go Apparel, one of the greatest spots to get all of your Buffalo sports apparel needs and your local business. Many local businesses, there are Eclipse shirts that are coming out for the upcoming Eclipse. They're doing glasses. The shirt itself glows in the dark. I saw it actually yesterday. It's pretty cool. And let's not forget our newest drop, which I think we're actually going to get our own store. By Buffalo Logo, the goated snapback. Again, I wish the camera here could do it service. It really doesn't. The embroidering here is next level. Just imagine any goat head Sabres jersey you've had in the past. It has the red, gray, and white embroidering on it. And of course, the goat himself, his helmet on the side. From Buffalo Logo and 39 Designs. Make sure you keep an eye out for that, as well as the RJ hat. Go check out our platforms at 2 Goalies 1 Mike, at Duane S39, at CHurls13 on Instagram, Twitter, at Buffalo Logo Co on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you keep an eye out. We'll be dropping those next week. And you can find Fatty Beer at Fatty Beer on Instagram and Twitter. I am Duane. Sabres slaughter the Vegas Golden Knights 7-2. We will be back here with you tomorrow when they take on the Winnipeg Jets. I am Duane for Connor Hurls. Go Sabres, and have a fantastic Saturday night, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.